Alright, so I noticed, this new game called Age of Civilizations 2. Obviously, who didn't? But, um, well, I've noticed everyone's putting out just gameplay, like long gameplay videos of them doing it. No one's actually done like a really short and sweet review, real quick. And although, yes, I did actually get the game the second it came out and have actually started working on the episode for it, I haven't edited it yet. So, real quick, I just wanted to get this video out there and make a really short and sweet review to see whether or not you should buy the game. Right off the bat, let's go into the pros of this game. The price tag, bam, look at that. Only, I believe it was $4.99, $5.99, is the bomb. It's really cheap. That is a big pro. For a brand new game, not on sale, that's a really cheap price. And you might ask, is that a money grab? No, that's a really cool. Another cool thing about this game is if you go into it and start poking around, you can see the amount of work that this guy has put into this game. It's actually really beautiful for someone doing this on their own or with only a few people and not like a really big official company. Also, another big pro of it is that, in a way, it sort of seems to try to appeal to those who can't quite afford or don't want to spend all of their money on Paradox games and Paradox DLCs. In fact, I even think I heard someone making that comparison before, and it completely lives up to that reputation. It is a really, really good representation. I think EU4, but kind of cool in a different way because he's poured a lot of heart into different start dates, like kind of like EU4 has, except for his are far more in depth and have a lot more love put into them. But, you know, I also see a lot of potential in this game. That's honestly the biggest pro I have here. The potential for this game is huge. The heart that I already see put into this, and the fact that it is not swamped with this huge price tag, makes you kind of cautious. It makes me really think that this guy really wants to do this. And, the fact that he didn't exactly cater to his audience's craving for immediate release and actually waited, kind of, held us on the wire for a while to put it out, I think really, I gotta give him a lot of praise for that. It really upholds, shows the kind of quality he's trying to strive for, and even though it takes time. Um, and I really think that shows promise in this game. I think that as time goes on, he's going to really pour in um, lots of updates and developments to this game, but not so much that it, like, corrupts your save files and just makes you not ever want to come back with all these different changes that are happening. I think that, this has a lot of promise for future development and carrying it forward into the future. This is, of course, where we come to the cons, where they can easily be fixed. That's what I love about this game so far, is that all of the problems I have run into in, I think it's 8 hours of gameplay now, all of them are very easily fixable. None of them are things I've run into and I'm like, oh, that sucks. That's a very poor style. Or why did he put this in the game? This doesn't make sense at all. No, everything is like, oh, well, with a couple of hours or, with a little bit of thought, he could fix this. And I think that's, really important to think about. Because a lot of games that I've seen, a lot of their problems normally are problems with not necessarily easy problems to fix. But with his, I would definitely say they are. And I'll go ahead and list off the cons right now. The first one is, it's not very pretty. Not to, give the bad rap or anything, but the game itself is not very pretty. And that's not really a problem. That's almost to be expected even in this early of, a build. I guess it's the very first thing. It's brand new. And he's not a big company. So the map doesn't really, there's not a lot to look at. The map isn't that pretty. The loading screen isn't very pretty. But it's not ugly either. It's just plain doable. So it's not a big oof. The second thing is, and I think this would be my biggest problem with the game so far, the way the AI interacts with players and each other. And I know it's very hard to develop a good AI. That takes time. But this very well may be one of the worst AIs I've ever seen in my life, which is saying something. But I think that that leaves a lot of room for improvement, obviously. But you also, at first I thought it may even be difficulty, but no, the AI I have seen acts almost the same from the beginner difficulty level to the legendary difficulty level. And that's a slight problem, I think. Really all that seems to change is maybe they get some extra buffs. I mean, it was a little bit harder in legendary, but I didn't really feel much more challenged. So, and the way they think through diplomacy, it doesn't make much sense to me at all. I'm not saying this because they were being unfair to me. In fact, it's the opposite. I found it too easy. It seems to me that a lot of players can easily manipulate, far easier than they should be able to, manipulate the AI into forming their own alliances and just slaughtering everyone else. Because that's what I would do. I would just find one strong AI. I never saw a single AI ally the entire game. And I think that's my biggest problem. Because there was no one I could not attack. Because I was never scared of being stopped by any of the AI. That's my biggest problem with the game. And probably the last problem is lack of variety. And again, this is very specific. I'm going to talk about what variety I feel is lacking. And again, this is a problem that he can easily fix. The lack of variety, I believe, comes in the economic system, slash building system. I see a lot of options in the diplomacy. I like that. I don't really think he needs to change anything there right now, other than the way, like I said, the AI deals with it. The military, it's not terribly in-depth, but it's not supposed to be. It's simplistic, kind of like EU4. You build a bunch of men and you send them out to battle. The only weird thing is you can hardly interact with it at all. You kind of just raise a levy like Crusader Kings 2, I suppose. But, again, it's supposed to kind of be like that. The big problem is when you get to their buildings, you have like a few options and it never changes. You just kind of level it up. Just level 1, level 2, level 3. It just keeps going on, and the bonuses get better and the prices get higher. But the problem, I feel, is that you don't get more options as time goes on. You just have those. And that gets a little bland and over time, I guess. The only thing that really I've seen change is, like, the castle. You can upgrade to a fortress, and that's about it. But, I'm sure he'll change that in the future. And if not, it's not the biggest deal. It's not a game changer, Like I said, really, I think the biggest thing to focus on would be the AI. That would be probably your number one, I would think. But, overall, especially with the price tag given, I'm going to have to give this game a, Civ 4 Beyond the Sword out of Civ 4. It's pretty amazing. It doesn't look incredibly pretty. It gets right to the point, but it doesn't have the biggest price tags, and it has a lot of potential. Anyway, guys, that is Age of Civilizations 2. Expect the actual gameplay video tomorrow, and I will talk to you all guys later. Classified out.